Close your eyes and think of the person you love most. Now think of your job, your social circle, your irreplaceable role in this world. Here is the first truth that will make your stomach sink. You are replaceable, period. If you disappeared tomorrow, your company would post a job opening before your obituary is even printed. Your best friends would eventually stop mentioning your name at dinner. The world doesn't stop for your absence. It barely even stutters. We spend our entire lives trying to be the one who can't be lost, the one who matters most. But the universe has a cold way of reminding us that we are just temporary arrangements of atoms. This isn't a cynical thought. It is the most grounding realization you will ever have. Because once you realize you are nothing to everyone, you are finally free to be everything to yourself. Why does this hurt so much? Because we are biologically wired to seek significance. Our ancestors survived by being needed by the tribe. To be replaceable was to be dead. But in the modern world, this instinct has turned into a prison. We stay in forced relationships because we fear the silence of being alone. We give endless explanations for our weirdness because we are terrified of being misunderstood. We try to fix people because we think their change is a reflection of our worth. But look at the scars on your hands. Most of them came from holding on to things that were never meant for you. We are going to break down the 10 truths that your ego doesn't want you to hear. These aren't just quotes. They are the laws of emotional gravity. Psychologically, why is it so hard to accept that if they don't reply, don't disturb them? It's called the Zeigarnik Effect. Our brains hate unfinished business. An unreturned text is an open loop. We chase the reply not because we love the person, but because we want to close the loop. We mistake anxiety for passion. And why do we try to change people? That's the investment trap or sunk cost fallacy. We've put so much time into them that we feel we must make them work to justify our wasted effort. But science tells us that personality traits are remarkably stable. You aren't a sculptor, you are a gardener. You can provide the water, but you cannot force a cactus to become a rose. If you try, you'll only end up with thorns in your palms. 1 and 2. The ego death. You are nothing to everyone. Repeat this thrice a day. I am nothing to them. It sounds depressing, but it's actually a superpower. If you are nothing to them, their judgment doesn't matter. Their expectations don't matter. You are no longer performing on a stage. You are living in a room. 3 and 4. The dignity of silence. No explanations. Forced friendships are like trying to wear shoes 2 sizes too small. You'll get where you're going, but you'll bleed the whole way. If someone doesn't reply, that is the reply. Never give an explanation for your weirdness or your love. The people who require an explanation will never understand it anyway. Explaining yourself is a form of begging for permission to exist. Stop begging. 5. The fortitude of acceptance. People don't change for you. Write this on your heart. No one changes because you want them to. They only change when the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of changing. Your savior complex is actually a control complex. Let them be who they are, even if who they are is someone you can no longer be around. 6. The hierarchy of value. Self-respect over closeness. If you have to choose between your self-respect and a close one, always choose the former. Why? Because the person who puts you in a position where you have to sacrifice your dignity is, by definition, not close to you. They are a parasite feeding on your boundaries. 7. The poison of one-sided love. One-sided love isn't romantic. It's self-destruction disguised as a tragedy. It's a slow leak of your soul into a vacuum. You are loving a ghost, and ghosts can't hold your hand when the world gets cold. 8 and 9. The poison of repetition and the danger of vulnerability. Repetition is poison. If you keep returning to the same toxic patterns, you aren't a victim. You are a volunteer. And while you're there, keep your cards close. 90% of people don't want to heal your weaknesses. They want to use them as leverage when the weather changes. 10. The inevitability of judgment. They will judge your imperfections. They will judge your perfections even more. People judge you to feel better about the parts of themselves they hate. Since you'll be judged anyway, you might as well be judged for being exactly who you are. Accepting these truths feels like losing a limb at first, but what you're actually losing is a weight. When you accept that you are replaceable, you stop being a slave to your legacy and start enjoying your life. When you stop explaining yourself, you find out who your real tribe is, the ones who get it without a word. When you choose self-respect over toxic closeness, you finally create space for people who actually deserve a seat at your table. These truths aren't meant to make you cold. They are meant to make you solid. A person who knows the worst about the world can no longer be manipulated by it. How do we live this? The 24-hour rule. If someone doesn't reply in 24 hours, archive the chat. Don't delete it in a rage, just move it out of your sight. Reclaim your mental real estate. The no explanation challenge. Next time someone asks why you did something weird, just smile and say, "Because I wanted to." Watch how much power that gives you. The mirror. Mantra. Look at yourself and say, "I am nothing to the world, but I am everything to me." The hardest truth of life is that the world doesn't owe you a happy ending. It doesn't owe you understanding, and it certainly doesn't owe you a special place. But here is the secret. You don't need the world's permission to be happy. You don't need to be irreplaceable to be valuable. You are a brief, beautiful spark in the dark. Wear your red scarf. Walk your path. And stop begging for a seat at tables where you aren't respected. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one happening inside your own skin. Everything else, it's just noise, full stop.